Hey, so I want to share kind of a funny story that I almost forgot about, but it came up in conversation recently, and it's about a job interview for a hairstylist position. I did go to cosmetology school. I graduated from Aveda, so for a little while I thought I wanted to do hair. So I interviewed at a few different salons for stylist positions, and obviously that didn't end up working out, which is a totally different story in itself, but I had some pretty horrific experiences interviewing with some salons. I just think it'd be fun to share a really horrible story. At the time it was horrible. I can laugh about it now. So this was a couple summers ago, and this particular position was for an apprenticeship. In Minnesota we have something called SOLA salons, and that's just the particular one that I went to. There's a few different branches or chains. You rent a room and you kind of have your own salon, but it's just a little room and it's just you. So it was one of those types of things. It was somebody who was renting a room in these salons. I like to be very, very prepared, so I did a lot of research about this person and her career, and I went on her website and I read everything about her. I wanted to make sure that I knew who I was going to be talking to and I would have talking points, and you should do that for an interview. You should know what you're kind of getting into. The information that she had on herself was like really impressive, and she said that she had done hair for movies and for film, and she called herself a celebrity hairstylist. So I was like, cool, this person is gonna know like how to get me places. It's gonna be awesome, whatever. I go to her salon, and so the first thing that happened was that she was an hour late. And because it wasn't like an actual salon, I was just sitting in this hallway for an hour reading magazines and sitting on my phone waiting for her. And then when she finally showed up, she seemed like really confused at first. I reminded her about the interview, and then she's like, oh yeah, that's right, I had an interview. Okay. She kind of apologized. And then the next weird thing that happened was that she put her hand out to shake, so we could shake hands. So then I did. I took her hand and then she yanked it away and she goes, no, be careful, my hand is broken. But, she put her hand out first. I don't know. So I sat around and I let her set up her little station and everything. She made me wait outside in the hallway. She wouldn't let me come into the actual room or the actual salon or her whatever. So I waited in the hallway for her, and then she finally comes outside and she's like, okay, let's start this interview. Things were going fine, I guess. She would ask me regular questions and it was going okay. And then she asked me what other salons I had been looking at. And in Minnesota we have some kind of chain salons, but they're known for being good. So there's one called Jute and one called Kohl's, and I live across the street from Kohl's, so I applied there, and I know that Jute is just really well known for being a good salon. So I told her that I was interested in both of those. And she cut me off and she goes, wait, so you think Kohl's and Jute are nice salons? And I was kind of taken back. I was like, maybe not, I don't know. After she said that, I was kind of like, oh my god, what the hell's going on? So then right after that, her phone started ringing, her cell phone, her personal cell phone, and then she excused herself to take a phone call from her daughter. I just thought that was really rude. And then a part of any interview, the interviewer will always ask, do you have questions for me? So I had some questions just about, the salon and the pay and things like that. And then one question that I was curious about was what celebrities she's worked with, because she calls herself a celebrity hairstylist, and she kind of dodged the question. She didn't name any names. She just kind of said oh, I've worked on indie films and I've done stuff here and there. She's probably worked on local indie films, which isn't bad, but I don't think you should lie and say that you're a celebrity hairstylist if you're not. So anyway, we finished the rest of the interview and she told me she wanted to see me back for a technical interview, which if you're applying for a hairstylist position, usually you do an in-person talking interview and then one or a series of technical interviews where you bring in models and you do their hair in front of the person. I was totally down for doing this technical interview because I really wanted the apprenticeship really bad. We set up the interview for, I think it was a Wednesday. I don't know. I don't remember the exact day, but I remember like it was for a few weeks out, so I had enough time to gather 3 models. She told me to bring a men's cut model, a foil model, and a bob haircut model. She said specifically bring 3 models. 2 days before I was supposed to go in for the technical interview, I wake up and I have a voicemail from her. So on my days off, I really like to sleep in, and I can sleep in until like noon or 1 or 2. Like, I can sleep for a long time. So I woke up at noon and I listened to this voicemail from her saying that she wanted to move the interview to that day at noon. So she was expecting me there as I'm waking up, and I was like, fuck. I call her back and I tell her that like I'll try to get it worked out. She was being really demanding, and she's basically like, you need to figure this out, you need to be here. I called all my models and 2 of them, like, thankfully were okay with it and they didn't have a lot to do, so they, you know, whatever. Then there was one that needed to call me back. So I called the hairstylist back and I let her know that one of my models still had to get back to me, but I was getting ready and I was planning on being there. And then she says, wait, so how many people are you bringing here? And I told her 3. And then she goes, oh, well, I guess we can make that work. Like, what? I was really stressed out. And my men's cut model was my boyfriend at the time, and he was with me during all of this, and I was like, I was crying, I was scrambling to get things together. He basically told me I don't have to do this because she was kind of testing me, like, in a really messed up way, and just the complete unprofessionalism during the interview, and then changing things last minute and being really demanding. Like, I know that's kind of sometimes part of the job. It's just not a good sign. If that's how she treats somebody that she is interviewing, how is she going to treat somebody that is working for her? She's obviously not very reliable, so how am I going to know if I'm going to get paid? And I mean, I would have had to quit my current job to work for her, and that wasn't going to happen. So I told my other 2 models that it was off, that we're not going to go to this lady's salon. I was still going to do their hair if they wanted me to, but I wasn't going to put myself through it anymore. Just the very short time that I've spent dealing with this woman was enough just to, I never wanted to see her, speak to her again. So I didn't. I never called her back. I never canceled on her. I just think that just the complete lack of respect that she showed me was just, it was enough for me to not care. Was it a little bit immature to just not call her back and just not show up? Maybe, but I was completely professional and very flexible up until that point, and if she wanted to have someone who was going to be a doormat for her, that's not going to be me. That was just one really bad experience. I had a few more hairstylist interviews, and a few of them were okay, but a lot of them were really bad, and I got the impression that a lot of salon managers were just really stuck up and just kind of disrespectful and not very nice people that I wanted to work for. And I'm not saying that everyone's like that. I know some people that own their own salon and they are wonderful people, and I know people that are hairstylists that are wonderful people and they love their job, but I just had enough bad experiences that it just wasn't for me. But this one was the worst. It was the absolute worst. At the time, it was horrible and really sad, but now I can laugh about it, and now it can be a funny story. So I hope that you enjoyed the story as well. So I guess that was it. Alright, have a wonderful day. Bye.